Hello and welcome to this free preview lecture series of my on-demand FE Electrical and Computer Exam Preparation course. In this lecture, we are going to tackle PMOS, which is part of electronics, which is part of MOSFETs. Now, I'm specifically adding this lecture because PMOS is arguably the more difficult MOSFET to deal with. When it comes to NMOS, I find that most of my students are quite comfortable with it, primarily because the equations and the diagram, the circuit is pretty clearly given in the NCS FE reference handbook. But for PMOS, it is not that obvious. So that's why I've included some progressively difficult practice problems for the students in my on-demand course to help them understand the concept around DC circuit analysis of PMOS better. So let's dive into it. Hello and welcome to this lecture on the topic of MOSFETs, in which we are going to go through additional practice problems related to PMOS. In the previous lecture, we went through DC circuit analysis steps for PMOS. Step number 1 very quickly is to assume an operating state. If we can check that the PMOS is in cutoff, then we'll assume cutoff. Otherwise, we're going to assume saturation because triode is a difficult mode of operation to solve and do the circuit analysis. And if you're not in saturation, if you're not in cutoff, then obviously you're in triode. Then we enforce in step number 2 the equality conditions. These are the equality conditions for saturation, these are the equality conditions for triode, and these are the equality conditions for cutoff. We analyze the circuit and we figure out the unknown voltages and currents. We compare them with the inequality conditions for each of these regions, and then based on the results in the comparison, we decide, okay, whether our results are consistent or not. If they're consistent, then you're good. Otherwise, you have to go back to step number 1 and assume a different state of operation. We're going to go through a bunch of practice problems over here, and I would recommend you to stop the lecture each time you see a new practice problem and then solve it yourself. So in problem number 1, I'm asking you to analyze the MOSFET circuit. The VT value is negative because we're dealing with the PMOS enhancement mode, and notice that the arrow is pointing towards the gate, and this is the K value. In step number 1, we have to assume a state of operation for this MOSFET. It can be seen that this MOSFET is most likely in cutoff mode because our VG is equal to negative 2 volts is given to us, and this is 0 volts. If I ignore this resistor, this becomes 0 volts. So I'm after VSG. Okay, so VSG will be equal to VS minus VG. So that's 0 minus 2 volts. Okay, so this is 2 volts. Now 2 volts is actually less than the magnitude of VT, and remember, since we're dealing with PMOS, we have to take the magnitude. Okay, so 2 volts is less than 4 volts, so most likely we are in cutoff mode. Now we are going to enforce the equality condition for the cutoff mode. Equality condition for cutoff mode is pretty simple. Your ID is equal to 0, and then we are going to analyze the circuit. So our VG is equal to negative 2 volts and our ID is equal to 0. So if ID is equal to 0, there's no voltage drop over here. This voltage is going to carry over here, and this is already connected to negative 5 volts. So my VS is equal to 0 volts. When I check my VSG, this becomes 0 minus 2, so this is 2 volts. In step number 4, I'm going to verify these results against the inequality conditions. So I've calculated my VSG. This is less than the magnitude of VT, so 2 volts is less than 4 volts. The results are consistent with assumptions, and the transistor is indeed in the cutoff mode. So I would like you to stop this lecture right now and compare this problem with problem number 1 that we did for the NMOS. Okay, problem number 1 for NMOS, and compare them. You'll see that there are a lot of similarities between the two. This is a PMOS circuit, and problem number 1 for the NMOS was obviously an NMOS circuit. So I want you to look at all of these results and understand what are the similarities and differences. Problem number 2 is asking us to analyze the MOSFET circuit. Now the VT value is equal to negative 1 volt, and this is a K value, and this is a circuit that we're dealing with. So this MOSFET is most likely operating in the saturation mode. Why? Because when you look at our VSG, so this is VS, this is VS, and this is VG. When I do a VSG, it becomes VS minus VG. So this is 0 minus 2 volts. So that's 2 volts. Okay, so 2 volts is greater than the magnitude of VT. Why? 2 volts is greater than negative 1 magnitude, which is 1. Okay, so I'm saying most likely because we can be in triode as well, but this is, as I explained you earlier, if we can rule out cutoff, it's always a good idea to assume saturation, because analyzing the circuit for saturation is much easier. And if you're not in saturation, then obviously you are in triode. Now we have to enforce a equality condition. So equality condition for the saturation mode is this: your ID is equal to K times VSG minus VT whole square. In step number 3, we are going to analyze the circuit. We are already provided the value of VG and VS. That helps us calculate VSG. We're going to substitute that value in this equation for ID. That gives us a value of ID. And then we can calculate the drain current, because drain current is equal to VD minus 6 volts divided by 1.5. I rearrange this, I get this value for VD. And then I'm after VDG, not VGD, which was the case with NMOS. And this gives me VD minus VG. This gives me a negative value. In step number 4, we have to verify these results against the inequality conditions. So inequality conditions for the saturation mode are that your VSG should be greater than the magnitude of VT, and your VDG should be greater than the magnitude of VT. Okay, so VSG is equal to 2 volts, it must be greater than 1 volt, which is true. And VDG is equal to minus 3.25 volts. It had to be less than 1 volt, which is true. So our results are consistent with assumptions, and the transistor is indeed operating in the saturation mode, and we can take all of these results at the face value. I'd like you to stop this lecture and compare problem number 2 of this lecture with problem number 2 of NMOS additional practice problems. In problem number 3, we are being asked to analyze the MOSFET circuit. VT for this circuit and for this MOSFET is minus 3 volts, and K is equal to 3.75 milliamps per volt square. And this is the MOSFET circuit. You can see that this MOSFET is most likely in saturation mode because VSG is going to be greater than VT. Why is that? Our drain VD voltage is equal to VG. Okay, so this is negative 3 volt. This is probably going to be a negative value as well. So gate is going to be a negative value. So source is equal to 0 volts, right? 0 volts over here. So when I do VSG, VS minus VG, this will become 0 minus a negative value. So that will be a positive value. And then let's assume that this positive value is going to be greater than the magnitude of VT. Okay, so it could be pretty close, but let's assume that this is in saturation. Okay, this is still a positive value. So, and the gate is tied to the drain. So we are going to assume saturation mode. In step number 2, we are going to enforce the equality conditions for saturation mode. And the equality condition is ID is equal to K times VSG minus VT whole square. In step number 3, we are going to analyze the circuit. We know that VG is equal to VD, VS is equal to 0 volts. That basically means that VSG is equal to VSD is equal to negative VG and negative VD. We've done something similar with the NMOS circuit, so please verify to yourself that this is going to be true, okay, because VS is equal to 0 volts. Now ID is equal to K times VSG minus VT whole square, so this gives me this value, and ID can also be expressed as VD minus 3 because the current is going in this direction. This is my drain voltage, so this is going to be higher voltage, this is a lower voltage, so I'm going to do VD minus 3 volts divided by 3.3 divided by 1.2, and I know that my VD is equal to VG. Okay, that's this here, VD is equal to VG, and VG is equal to minus VSG. Okay, so that's basically coming from this, and then I can rearrange this equation, equate the two equations because they're both in ID, and then solve them, and I'll get these two values for VSG. In step number 4, I can verify the results against the inequality conditions. So inequality conditions for saturation mode are these. So I have two possible values, 3.169 and 2.607. I'm going to select 3.169 because that is greater than 3 volts. And we've gone over this in the NMOS lecture as well. And my VDG, because both are tied together, there's no voltage difference between the two. It's 0 volts, it's less than 3 volts. So these two are correct. So our results are consistent with the assumptions, and the transistor is indeed operating in the saturation mode, and we can take all of these results at the face value. Before we move on to problem number 4, I'd like you to compare problem number 3 of this lecture with problem number 3 of the NMOS additional practice problems. See the similarities and the differences, and it will help you understand both DC circuit analysis of NMOS and PMOS. So let's take a look at problem number 4 now. We have this circuit. You can see that this is a PMOS because the arrow is pointing inwards, and our VT value is equal to -3 volts and our K value is 0.10. Our step number 1 is to assume a state of operation for the given MOSFET circuit. So we know that our source voltage is equal to 0 and this is our gate voltage. Because we have a negative source over here for the gate voltage, right? So that's probably going to be a negative value. So this is going to be a negative value. So when we do our VSG, so we'll end up with 0 minus negative value. So that's going to be a positive value, and that's most likely going to be greater than the magnitude of VT. So it's safe to assume that we are operating in saturation mode. In step number 2, we will have to enforce the equality conditions for the saturation mode. Our ID will be equal to K times VSG minus VT whole square. In step number 3, we can analyze the circuit. We have to find this voltage VG. So this voltage is a voltage that's appearing across a 40K resistor, and that can be calculated using the voltage divider rule. So minus 10 volts, 40 divided by 40 plus 60. So that gives me this value. We can then calculate our VSG value. So VSG is equal to VS minus VG. So that gives me a positive 4 value. I'm going to substitute that in here for ID and calculate the value of ID. And ID is equal to VD minus 10 volts because the drain current is flowing like this. This is the drain voltage. So VD minus 10 volts, I rearrange this for VD and I get this value for VD. And then I can also calculate VDG, which is this value. And in step number 4, which is our final step, we verify the results against the inequality conditions. These are the inequality conditions for the saturation mode. Our VSG is equal to 4 volt, which is greater than 3 volts, so we are good there. Our VGD is equal to -2 volts, which is less than the magnitude of VT, which is 3 volts. So we are good there as well. So the results are consistent with the assumptions. Transistor is operating in the saturation mode, and we can take all of these results at the face value. I'd like you to compare problem number 4 of this lecture with problem number 4 of NMOS additional practice problems. In this lecture, we did circuit analysis practice problems for PMOS. The steps are identical to NMOS. Assume an operating region, enforce the equality conditions, perform the circuit analysis, check against the inequality conditions, and verify the assumptions. If they're good, then your results are accurate. Otherwise, you have to go back to step number 1. So for some reason, students find PMOS a little bit difficult. And the reason for that, I believe, is that the equality and inequality conditions probably don't stand out right away in the NCSFE reference handbook. But as you saw over here, and if you've been comparing problem number 1 of this lecture with problem number 1 of NMOS additional practice problems, and same thing with problem number 2, 3, and 4, you'll see that the steps are almost identical. There are only a handful of differences with respect to the voltage polarities and the fact that you have to take magnitude of the threshold voltage. Other than that, solving the NMOS circuit or the PMOS circuit, it's pretty simple, and also take care of the current direction. If you found this preview lecture helpful, I am confident that you will also greatly benefit from the full course that contains over 150 lectures and covers all the topics that are found in the latest NCS FE Electrical and Computer Exam specification. You will also get access to tons of quizzes and mini exams in this course that will help you get additional practice, along with a bonus full-length computer simulated practice exam. This streamlined and well-reviewed course comes with an amazing 30-day full refund policy, no questions asked. On top of all this, I have also included a special discount link in the text section of this video.